Ba ba da ba da 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 ba da ba da bum ba da ba da da da. I'm gonna get copyright striked. I can't be singing that. So you saw the intro, you saw the thumbnail, and you read the title. You know what this is? The Mafex Hush Superman. Probably the definitive Superman action figure to have in your collection. I'd say either this one or the new Mezco one that came out. I personally don't really like the style of Mezco, but if you do, then that figure is probably pretty much perfect for you. But for me, this guy is, he's the one to get. He has incredible articulation, incredible accessories, looks great. There are a couple little nitpicks I have, but we'll get into those as we come across them. So, yeah, let's just dive in. Quick here, we got the box. It says Mafex, Batman Hush on the side, Superman Hush version. Maybe they'll release like a Reissue Superman normal version or something. Batman Hush with a picture of Superman. More Batman Hush with a bunch of product shots and some of the accessories. Just a picture of Superman standing. Says Batman Hush at the top there. Can't really make it out though. Batman Hush, some plastic, and yeah, that's it for the box. I have all the accessories in there. It's how I store my import figures accessories. I like to keep the box for that reason and stuff. But let's crack those out.
Do you bleed?
So here with the accessories, we have 4 pairs of alternate hands. We have flat flying hands that look good, and the nails are sculpted on all of these hands. We have relaxed, just kind of open hands that look good. We have the big grabbing. I love these hands for my Batman, Nightwing, and Superman. They all look great. Using them to like grab up some thugs or something cool. And then finally, last pair, we have cape grabbing hands. If you can see here, they have a little bit of a hole in them to put the cape wire through. So they're all 4 hands. They're all great. No real paint shading on them. It doesn't appear. And then he comes with 1 alternate head. If I can get it out. There we go. So that looks good. You can see the red in his eyes. He's got some blue in the hair that I really like, adding that comic book effect. Looks great. Here's my first gripe with the figure though. The paint and everything looks good, but I wish he had a smiling head. He has a neutral head and the heat vision head, and I wish he had the smiling head. And then finally for the Superman accessories, he has 3 different leaf pieces. He has this for his arm, this for his neck, and then this as well for his arm. And they're different. The 2 arm ones are slightly different molds and everything. And those are all the accessories. He also has a kryptonite ring hand for the blue Hush Batman. I'll show that off then too. But yeah, comes with really what you need for Superman in terms of accessories. So moving on to the figure itself. So here we have the figure himself, and he looks great. I think that the red is really nice, the blue is really nice. There's a ton of shading on the blue. The yellow on the emblem is nice here, taking him in for a closer look. I like the yellow on his emblem, but not here on the belt. My lighting doesn't do really a good picture of it, but he just, I don't know, they have a nice color for the emblem on this. This is the 3rd reissue, by the way. But the yellow is just a bit too toned down on the belt, I think, not bright enough. But other than that, he looks great. I mean, he's really bulky, bigger than the Batman Hush figure. All his muscles are sculpted really nice. The logo's sculpted in. The belt, even the belt loops here are sculpted in. Everything is sculpted. The boots here at the bottom here are sculpted. So, all the details are sculpted on. Looks really good. I'm taking him in closer here. We have the normal head sculpt, the neutral one, which looks pretty good. Same blue kind of hair on the top here. See if I can get that to focus. Yeah, you can kind of see it, but it'll vary. Blue paint in the hair. Cape here, really nice. Nice and big, but not too big, just right, I think. Has the emblem on the back, the yellow emblem. Looks good. I think they did a nice job with that, and it has 2 wires, nothing on the bottom here. But he has wires on this side and on this side, and that's all you need really for this kind of cape. But then muscle detail, he's toned throughout, and again you can kind of see it, there's some shading all over inside the muscle details, which looks good. And then another small little nitpick I have is here, and there you go, you can kind of see it at that angle. Right there, there's some glue sticking out. It's the white stuff there, that's glue. Because the torso here is an overlay for the cape tuck effect, which looks good. But yeah, that'll vary. You could have that, you could not, so be careful of it. Some have had it way worse though, so it's not actually sticking out, it's just a little bit of white there. And then, yeah, he looks good though. Toned body and everything. And even under here, under the cape, the back musculature, Superman butt. Yeah. Say he looks pretty darn good.
You're just a greasy smear on my fist.
Going in for posability here, Mafex does a great job. This is one of my favorite things about them, is they blend the posability with the sculpt itself really well, and I think that is just a great little detail. So moving in here, we have a neck joint and a head joint here, so looking up all the way, boom, that far. Looking down, his chin touches his torso that far. Arms going straight up, boom, great. Bicep swivel. Oh, butterfly joint here too, inside, so you can kind of move the arm around. Butterfly joint, double bend at the elbow, looks great, and then swivel hinge wrists, you can turn them either way, so that's good. Can turn about that much at the diaphragm, about that much. Arch back that far, arch forward that far. You can see going back with both, go that far back, going forward with both. You can go very forward, which is great. I love that. Usually the lower joints of the Mafex, the lower ab joint, is for bending forward more, and the upper joint is for bending back more. Just a little detail I figured you should know. That's how it is for most of them, I feel like. Here, he has drop down hips, so you can give him a little bit of height. His legs go out that far. And then because of how some Mafex figures are, this guy has a rubberized torso. And so you would think it goes up at a pretty nice amount, but then if you push it in a little bit, it will go super far up because he's Superman. So of course it's got to be super. And it'll warp a little bit here because it's a soft, rubbery material, but it goes back to shape with no problem. It's the same on some figures, and I wish they did it with Spider-Man and stuff, but the comic book Spider-Man don't have that feature. Anyways, he has a thigh swivel, go all the way around, double knee bend, bend it that far. You can swivel at the boot a little bit, not too much. But, the ankle movement is a little weak on this guy. He can only hinge up that far. Which is crazy to me. And hinge down that far. And then ankle pivot in that far. Oh. And some very nice, there you go, and put my hand back there, toe joints. So, overall, great articulation. You can get them into just about any pose. Oh, I guess I can cover this here. The cape. With the bending wires, you can bend them pretty much any which way, flowing in any way, just like the Batman. And I love bendy capes. They're the best of both worlds, I feel like. With, you can have, like, they have posability and versatility of the cloth capes, but then they have the aesthetic of a plastic molded cape. So I think it's the best of both worlds because you can change it around without it getting in the way. So I guess we got size comparisons next. So let's move on to that. Here, I don't have much for this guy because, as I said in my DC Icons Flash review, if you want my opinions on that, go watch that video if you want. Don't have many DC figures. I think Icons really could have been the best line. It was a nice 6-inch line. And so really my only options are imports for the scale I want and the quality. Because with Marvel Legends, I can really get, like, cheaper $20 to $30 figures that come with a couple accessories and pretty good articulation, and they hold up well. But I can't really do that for DC, especially not in the scale I want. McFarlane's just not for me, personally. Kind of like Zack Snyder's movies. Superhero movies. Yeah, no. Speaking of which, we have Henry Cavill Superman. Man, I wish Henry Cavill got better material to work with in his movies. He could have been perfect, but no, nope, not with that kind of writing. And then I have this old Brave and the Bold line Superman. Don't even know when it came out. Not that good. Pretty small too. If you want to watch a good Superman story, because I've become a big Superman fan recently, watch Superman and Lois on Max if you can, or on just TV. It's really good. He's got a family and stuff. Probably one of my favorite adaptations of Superman yet. So, yeah, that's it for Superman figures. We'll move on to some more different people. Moving into a couple of Justice Leaguers I have. I only have 5 at the moment, but I kind of want to grow that out. Get a Green Lantern, Blue Beetle, Firestorm, all DC icons, because I think they'll scale well and they're pretty good quality. Anyways, I have the DC Icons number 5 Flash, who has a review on my channel. Let me move him back so he's a bit more in scale. And I think these two look really cool together. Obviously, the Flash is a bit shorter, but it's really not that bad, and especially if you're doing some action stuff, it would look great. And then the Mafex Black Hush Batman. And really, the Superman and this Batman look great. It reminds me of Superman Batman Public Enemies. If you haven't read or watched the movie, you should really do that. It's so good. I really enjoy it. It shows off the friendship dynamic between them. And probably the best 3 versions of these characters, I'd say, in this scale at least. And that's a custom head on the Batman, of course. I have a video on where I got it and stuff and how to swap it and everything. So, yeah, moving on. Here we have a Lex Luthor figure from Batman v Superman. I'm guessing this was concept art or something because we never got to see Lex do anything cool in those movies. No, why would we see like a major supervillain be a cool dude in a movie? What? But I mean, he only has 3 spots of articulation, 1 at each arm, and then can swivel his head a little bit. It's really hard to do with his collar. But it looks kind of cool. You can maybe get an action shot of him like gunning up at Superman or something if you wanted. But yeah, that's the only Lex Luthor I have. Might pick up the DC Icons because he looks pretty cool. He'll be a little short again, but I don't know. Maybe. He looks cool. Sorry I bumped the camera when I tried to pick up Lex Luthor. I accidentally just smacked him into my stand. I have my phone on here. But finally, for the last 2 figures to compare him against, I have the Mafex Hush Nightwing, who I think looks pretty good. See, I always have this problem. If you've seen my other reviews, you'll know. Can't get the figures to stand. There's always one figure I have trouble balancing. There we go. Best Nightwing as well. I really think Mafex makes definitive action figures. They look really good together. Love that Nightwing, love that Superman. And for a bit of an odd one, but I think it looks pretty cool, we have a Marvel Legend. I think that looks pretty cool. I really like the colors. They both have like brighter colors and stuff. Superman has a bit of a muted yellow, but I think the bright blue and the bright green match well and stuff, and the darker red and the darker purple kinda looks, I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool. You can of course disagree, like, what am I gonna do, get mad at you? But yeah, and I also think, if you haven't seen the 3D animation of like Hulk versus Superman on YouTube, it's like 12 years old or something, almost as old as me. It's really good, and they used a model that looks like Christopher Reeve Superman. This figure here reminds me of him, and I think that's great because that was a pretty enjoyable movie. If you're into campy or comic book movies, it was pretty cool and stuff. Some cool scenes. If you want some more Superman goodness, go watch that. But so for size comparisons, let's move on to final thoughts now. So, I mean, you've been watching through, hopefully, the whole thing. You didn't just skip to hear my final thoughts. But if you did, I don't really mind. This guy is great. He has incredible articulation. He looks great. He has enough accessories for any action figure fan. I mean, the posable cape is, again, something that I love. It really helps out with dynamism of the figure. He scales well with mainly other imports, but also DC Icons. And so if you want to get DC Icons, go to eBay, Mercari, because it's out of, not out of service, but you know what I mean. Like, it's out of production. The line's been discontinued, that's the word. And so if you want a couple of them, you can look up what they have. I'm really sad it didn't keep going. They had like a Sinestro, a Deadshot, Shazam. All of them would have been cool to also have, but you know, it is what it is. Not much you can do. But yeah, I mean, is this guy the perfect Superman? He's my perfect Superman. If soft goods are your thing, the Mezco is probably the best, but this guy, for me, he's perfect. I mean, if he had a smiling head, then he'd really be like perfect. But without that, he's still 9.9 out of 10. Really good. So, again, just want to emphasize my channel is not just action figure stuff. It's just a comic book oasis, really, that I'm going to be doing stuff. Posting video essays, game reviews, comic reviews, talking about stuff, stop motions, figure reviews, all that good stuff. I'm really excited for the Suicide Squad game coming out on the 2nd, this Friday. at the time of me making it. Really excited, going to be playing that. Probably I'll make a review for it. Take me a while to write up the script of that, but really excited for that. And, yeah, subscribe if you want to see any of that. If not, that's completely fine. And, have a good one. See you next time.